Welcome to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. We are here in week 4 for the NFL. I can't believe it's already week 4 here.
Last week was fun to watch.
Yes.
It was fun because I went 2-1. I think you went 2-1 as well.
2-1 as well.
So I'm starting to get on track now.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see what these teams are made of, and what they're capable of doing. So maybe I have a better handle now on the games.
Well, we're here going into week 4, and this is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show. We're here every week going through the different games that have gone on before and what we're going to be looking at for the upcoming weekend ahead. As always, we're here with Caesars Sportsbook. Go to Caesars.com/sportsbook-and-casino. And if you use our code PIKE1000, you will get a special sign-up offer. So please check that out. 21 and older, terms and conditions apply. Bet responsibly. Problem gambling, 800-GAMBLER. But Caesar Sports is going to be with us all season long. Mm-hmm. Love working with them. A lot of great offers they're having. A lot of great promos, too.
Absolutely. So give that website one more time.
You just like hearing me say that.
I love it when you have to do the / dot, whatever.
Luckily, if you're watching us on TV,
no one does the www dot anymore.
No.
You just go right into the website.
But luckily, if you're watching us on TV, you're seeing the Caesar Sports logo and everything. All the information is there down the side of the screen.
Come on, I want to hear you say it again. Do the website again.
For our listeners on the audio side, which, by the way, you can hear us on Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora Podcast, Spotify, as well as a few others as well. But if you're listening, the website to go to, Caesars.com, www.caesars.com.
You don't have to do that. I was joking. Okay, Caesars.com.
Caesars.com/sportsbook-and, spell out and, -casino. And make sure you use our code PIKE1000 when you sign up with them. Right. And also, don't forget, hook in your rewards card, too. Caesars Rewards has a lot of great things being offered there. You know, different properties around the country, around the world even, that you can apply the rewards to, as well as food and other types of engaging activities through Caesars. It's been kind of a fun week, fun season so far. This is my best start, I have to admit.
Really? Okay.
I've never had a 6-3 start for a season.
I don't even know what I am. So.
You are 4-5.
4-5. Okay.
Well, you had 2-1 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I was in preseason mode for myself as well. So now I'm getting serious. Now I'm starting, and it started with last week, 2-1. Fun week 3. A lot of great games. A lot of interesting coaching decisions, especially with the Philadelphia Eagles game. But
I think going into that game, I was expecting a high-scoring game. I was not expecting a defensive struggle there. Actually, I don't know if that was a defensive struggle. They were just incompetent offenses. But
it just, I'm to the point where I never know what to expect from the Eagles nowadays, especially with some of the coaching decisions from Sirianni. But, it's what makes it exciting being an Eagles fan. So
I still did not get that 60-yard field goal try.
I don't know. That was just awful. I don't know what he was thinking. And analytics is an interesting tool. You have to use it correctly. I'm not sure if they're using it correctly, but they're an analytics kind of coaching staff.
Yeah, I have to admit, Vic Fangio, great defensive scheme. Whatever he came up with, I hope he does it more often in the future. But that was kind of a weird game. The other one was that Dallas-Baltimore game. First time we've seen an onside kick this year, and first time it was recovered.
I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, "Is that the first time under the new rules that an onside kick was recovered?" And I guess it was. So it's interesting. There shouldn't be an excuse. It went right through his hand. So there was nothing strategically incorrect about it. You just have to hold on to the ball. So no, it was exciting down the wire. I almost shut it off because it was just one-sided. I mean, Baltimore was just destroying Dallas. Dallas defense couldn't stop the run and couldn't stop anything. And all of a sudden, after that, they scored and the onside kick.
Left,
it just turned into a different kind of game.
For 3.5 quarters, Dallas wasn't even in the stadium, and then all of a sudden, those last 8 minutes, they made it kind of interesting. A couple other really interesting things happened in week 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try and introduce some of these as we go along throughout the season. If I see something really interesting.
Oh, you're talking about interesting stats or interesting,
interesting
all
stats
right,
or situations.
Well, this may help me in my future picking. Go, Bucks. Go ahead.
Going into week 3, Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach, was 50-0 when leading by 14 at the half. He is now 50-1.
Wow.
After the Rams came back, 21-7 deficit. I guess that was halftime. And it was, he handed him his first loss after 40 straight wins, leading by 14 at halftime.
49ers are very interesting. I expect them to turn things around as the season goes on, but I'm surprised at the start of the season that they're having.
Yeah.
Them in Baltimore, I thought they'd be... If you told me a couple teams would be 3-0, I would think Baltimore and the 49ers, but I'd be completely wrong. And if you asked me if you thought the Steelers would be 3-0, I would have said hell no. But,
Well, the win also by the Rams broke a streak of 101 straight losses for the Rams in the exact same situation.
Okay.
So some noteworthy things there. You just spoke about of Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Pittsburgh has only scored 3 touchdowns this year. Last team to do that and start 3-0 was the 1988 Buffalo Bills.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
By the way, Pittsburgh is one of my teams coming up for my picks, and has nothing to do with their offense.
No.
So,
a couple of quarterback notes. Andy Dalton, in the game he started for Carolina.
yes, the Ginger Hammer.
Yes.
My God, he's reborn.
319 yards, 3 touchdowns. First quarterback in the NFL this year to do that.
Wow.
And he had to do it with Carolina.
It's a very strange
Yep.
year. Very strange. Ask people from the Circus Survivor contest how strange a year it's been.
Well,
what is it, like 90
95% is out.
90% of their
going into
them
week
are
4,
out.
95% got knocked out. So, but other quarterback, Sam Darnold over at the Vikings,
who's having an amazing season.
First quarterback in Vikings history to win the first 3 games of the season and throw multiple touchdown passes in each of those games.
Really?
I really would have thought somebody else would have done. I would have thought Tarkin.
Yeah, Frank Tarkenton, I would think.
Yeah,
but
no, that was one of the interesting stats I had to talk about here. Last stat before we headed over to break here. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and the Dolphins are the only team this year that hasn't held a lead in a single game.
Wow.
They did win in week 1, but that was with 0 time on the clock. So they technically have not led in any games this year.
They're in some real trouble. I'm very curious to see how they address the quarterback situation going forward, but they are in an interesting predicament.
Yep. Well, speaking of going forward, we're going to be heading over into our picks segment here. We, as always, this is what we do. We do 3 games each. We do a point spread, or we do totals, over-unders. We don't do money line bets. We use Caesars Sports Lines. We do them early week. We're doing them this week. We're doing Thursday. But like we always tell everybody,
keep checking the lines.
Keep checking the lines, and because they will change at kickoff. Some for the better, some for the worse. A lot of times, starting to see some really good, really interesting swings too. I saw that one game had a 5-point swing last week, which was weird.
Yeah,
I don't usually see that.
Underdogs become favorites and vice versa. It's like I said, a very interesting year. It's very fluid. That's what makes it exciting. And no, I'm very happy with the lines from Caesars when I pick these games. So I locked them in. So I'm happy about that.
Well, we'll be doing our picks right after this.
With costs going up, Adam and Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry. You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Caesars.com/sportsbook-and-casino. If you're not following along on TV, and use Pike 1000 when you sign up, you get a special offer there. Right now, it's if your first cash bet loses, you get it back as a bonus bet up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. 21 and older. Problem gambling. 1-800-GAMBLER. Please bet responsibly.
Absolutely.
Bet with your head, not with your heart.
Yep.
And just to recap before we get into our picks, we do 3 games each. Point spreads and totals, over-unders, whatever you want to call them. We don't do money line bets. We're using early week lines or mid to late week lines here. Midweek lines. And be sure and check them before you make a bet yourself.
By the way, we don't know when we're making these picks what games we have. We only find out what games we each have before we start recording this because, just for, recording in what order you want to put the games in. But we found out we have 2 of the same games.
Yep.
But as a caveat, I don't know
we don't tell the picks.
What you did with those games.
Right.
So this week is weird. We have 2 of the same games.
If we
Hopefully
did the same
different
pick,
different angles of these games. So, because the point of this exercise is to beat the guy across from you. So that's I'm playing against Doug and Doug's playing against me, and we'll tally up our wins and losses at the end of the season and see who wins. But so I hope you have different picks of the same game as me so I can make some ground on you.
well, we'll see.
Okay.
We're going to head over to game number 1 right now. First game of the week, and this is a game we have together.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers favored by 1.5 at the Indianapolis Colts. The over-under is 40 points even. I think I just threw out a Pittsburgh stat in the previous segment. Pittsburgh has only scored 3 touchdowns this year. They do come into the game 3-0, but they have only scored 3 touchdowns total.
I'm not concerned about that, by the way, but go ahead. If that's a tip to what I went with.
The last team to do that was the 88 Buffalo Bills. Reference the stat I just threw out before there. Last 4 meetings between these 2 teams have gone over the totals, which have all been very low compared to, relatively speaking, to what we have here. The under is 4-1 in Pittsburgh's last 5 road games, including the playoffs. And like we've been talking about and joking around, this team doesn't score. They don't score on offense. Luckily, they have the type of defense that prevents the other side from scoring as well.
Yeah.
You've got Anthony Richardson running the Colts offense, and let's face it, he has been a turnover machine.
I had that written down on my notes, turnover machine. He has 6 interceptions in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, gives the ball away at the worst possible moments.
By the way, only completed a little over 49% of his passes. So not very good when you're going up against a top-rated defense like the Steelers.
Well, here we have my maxim coming into play here.
All right.
If Anthony Richardson is playing, you go with the Colts. However, I am avoiding any pick in this one. I'm going with the under 40 because no one seems to score.
Under 40, okay.
No one seems to score these 2 teams.
Okay, we took a different approach to this game. Like I said, Anthony Richardson, amazing athlete, incredible arm, just turning the ball over way too much, and he hasn't played a defense like the Steelers. And I think it's going to be a long day for the Indianapolis Colts. Get these stats here. The Steelers have won 15 out of 16 Sunday games against the Colts. So Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin knows how to beat the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have also lost their last 9 games as a home underdog following a win, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'm taking the Steelers and laying the points.
Okay, we did 2 different tacks there.
See, we have the same game, different approaches.
Let's head on over to the second game of the week.
Okay.
Second game of the week, and we also have this game as well.
Again, I don't know. I know we have the same game. I just don't know what approach you took to this game.
Yes.
So go ahead.
We've got Minnesota Vikings traveling to Wisconsin to play the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. Green Bay's favored by 2.5 points. There's an over-under of 43.5 points in this game. Mm-hmm. I really am enjoying what Sam Darnold is doing.
I love what they're doing.
I thought he was a great draft pick by the Jets. The Jets squandered him because they just never put the team around him. They didn't give him the right coaching,
too.
All that stuff. But you have great coaching around him. You have a great team in Minnesota. He's got the talent there, and he's showing what he can do as a quarterback, what he could really have done for the previous teams. Bad place in New York, bad place in Carolina when he was there. Found a home in Minnesota, and that luckily, I hate to say it that way, but because of the injury to the starting quarterback there, he's getting a chance to play, and he's making the most of it.
Well, he's also showing what he can do for other teams, too. So he might not be at Minnesota a long time, depending on what they decide on their quarterback situation, but he's showing what he can do for other teams.
Yes. Like I had said before, we have Darnold becoming the first quarterback in Vikings history to win the first 3 games with multiple touchdown passes in each of those games. You've got the Vikings defense also setting some stat records here. They have at least 5 sacks in every game this season. They're the third team since 1990 to record 5 sacks in each of their first 3 games of the season. Mm-hmm. So a very unique statistical package on both sides of the ball for Minnesota. What can you say about Green Bay? They lost Jordan Love, and really they at times have looked really good.
Love might be playing this week, so who knows?
Who knows? I haven't seen any indication that he's going to be playing, but it could be a last-minute decision. Like I said, we're doing Thursday lines, and I'm basing it on what the information I have here is now. Mm-hmm. We've got Minnesota coming in 3-0 against the spread this season. I don't know. I love the way Minnesota's playing here, and I just can't go away from Minnesota. I think we're going to be seeing 4-0 straight up, or even 4-0 against the spread here by Minnesota. I'm going with Minnesota plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota too. I mean, they come into this game 3-0 for a record, and that's not an easy cakewalk 3-0. They beat the 49ers and the Texans. Their offense is scoring 28.3 points a game, while their defense is only giving up 10 points, which is absolutely incredible. Not only have the Vikings won their last 2 games as underdogs, but they have also covered 7 of their last 8 games following a win. On the other hand, the Packers have lost 5 of their last 7 games as home favorites against a team on a winning streak, and that is exactly what Minnesota Vikings are on. So, like you said, I'm sticking with the red-hot Minnesota Vikings, the underdog Minnesota Vikings in this one.
The Sam Darnold-led underdog Minnesota Vikings
right?
in this one. Let's head on over to the last game of the week. Last game of the week, and we do have different ones for this one.
Finally. All right.
We have gone our separate ways after 2 straight games there. My last game of the week is the Cincinnati Bengals favored by 4 points at the Carolina Panthers. There's an over-under of 47 points in this game. When I first started looking at this game, both the point spread and the total was different.
Okay.
It went from 4.5 down to 4.
It's moving a little bit.
And the total went from 48 to 47. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati's coming into the game. They're 0-3 straight up, but they're 1-2 against the spread.
And their backs are against the wall. They lose this.
Yes.
This is, I don't know. You hate to say you can write them off this early, but let's be honest. 0-4. I mean, good luck with that one.
The one thing I got to say is they really can't be as bad as they've looked the first 3 weeks of the season. Can they? I don't know. You're facing a Carolina team that is now having Andy Dalton as the quarterback.
They have new life. Yes. The Ginger Hammer.
Yeah, first quarterback this season to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game. That's Andy Dalton over there. The only thing that would make this storyline a little bit better is if it was in Cincinnati, not in Carolina. This could be considered a revenge game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Andy Dalton's a little bit maybe beyond that a little bit, but and also I think everyone's kind of overreacting to the way Carolina played. I don't think Las Vegas is as good as people think they are. I also think they didn't prepare one bit for that game.
Well, they certainly didn't prepare for Andy Dalton.
No.
They had enough. They had enough. information that they knew Andy Dalton was starting, but I guess they really didn't know what to expect. Now Cincinnati kind of knows what to expect.
Well, they're familiar with Andy Dalton too. They know his tendencies. They know his tendencies,
and they know he's starting. They know how he's playing now, so they know what weapons he has around him. So
the one thing that makes me look at Carolina differently is the fact that when Andy Dalton came in, that offense looked actually competent. And I don't know if that's really a bad reflection on Bryce Young. He is still learning how to play, and I don't think he's getting the right coaching in Carolina. You may see a fresh start somewhere else for him at some point.
Who knows?
But we got Andy Dalton coming in to face his former team. Great storyline.
Yep.
Again, I really don't think Carolina is as good as they looked against the Raiders. I think that was just catching the Raiders off guard.
Yep.
That's why I am going with Cincinnati. They're going to win their first game of the season, and they're also going to win by more than 4 points. I'm doing Cincinnati laying the 4.
They're desperate. Their backs are against the wall. I like that pick. My game is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Chicago Bears, who are favored by 3 points, which is, I think, crazy. And the total is 41. Look, I know the Los Angeles Rams are 1-2 and pretty banged up coming into this game, but the Chicago Bears have not shown me enough on offense to be 3-point favorites. So maybe they're getting that home bump, but I wouldn't give them 3 points. I mean, if they were favored by 1.5 points, I'd understand that, but a full 3 points, I don't get that. The Bears have failed to cover the spread in 13 of their last 15 games against an opponent that has a losing record. And I certainly don't see them covering against a Stafford-led offense. I mean, the Bears have lost 8 of their last 10 Sunday games against an opponent with a losing record. On the other hand, the Rams have won 3 out of their last 4 games as underdogs against an NFC opponent. Even though the Rams are coming in and they're pretty injured, I think they have enough to cover and even win outright, and I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm mystified by Chicago this year.
Yeah,
they should be good, but they're not.
They have a good defense.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about their offense.
Well, again, it's Caleb Williams' first year. He is a rookie. I mean, the way he does play at times makes it look like he's not a rookie, but he is still a rookie quarterback. So, but yeah, they are kind of a mystery to me. I've been staying away from that team in every game so far. But,
see, I don't get the 3 points. Look, they're a home team, 1.5, something like that, but a full 3 points, that's a little much for me.
The books know more than we do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the books constantly amaze me at their accuracy of that, but I think they just got this one a little weird. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if this number changes a little bit. I mean, certainly the Bears can be favored, but I'm thinking it might go down to 1.5 points.
Well, keep an eye on
like that.
Yep. So. Those are our picks for the week.
Keep watching the lines.
There you go. Keep watching the lines. Yeah. That's our picks for this week. We're going to be right back after this to do our recap and finish up the show.
If you don't have final expense life insurance, this message is for you. LifeCare provides valuable information about whole life insurance to help cover final expenses, medical bills, burial costs, and other final expenses. A final expense life insurance policy is fast and available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exam, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral costing $9,420 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses. Your premium will never increase. Your policy will have a cash value and a death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense life insurance with a lifetime lock, call 800-601-9488. That's 800-601-9488.
Sign up at jackpot.com and you can bet on the world's best lotteries where the biggest jackpots are up for grabs. Powerball, Mega Millions, some of the biggest lotteries can be found at jackpot.com. Simply choose your lotto game, pick your numbers, or use their quick pick feature, and you're done. Sign up at jackpot.com with code DRAW24 and get a free lottery ticket with your first deposit. Jackpot.com, it's the world of lotto in your hand.
Terms and conditions apply. You must be at least 18 years old and in the United States to play. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Show presented by Caesars Sportsbook, Caesars.com/sportsbook-and-casino. Use Pike 1000 when signing up. You get a special sign-up offer. Terms and conditions apply. 21 and older. Problem gambling, 1-800-GAMBLER. We just finished doing our picks and discussing last week's action as well as looking ahead to this coming week. We're just going to do our recap of our picks with Dave leading off right now.
Well, my first game is I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 1.5-point favorites over the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking the underdog Minnesota Vikings against the Green Bay Packers, who are favored by 2.5 points. And I am taking the underdog Los Angeles Rams against the Chicago Bears, who are favored by 3 points.
And I am doing the under 40 points in that Pittsburgh Indianapolis game. I'm also going with the Vikings, Minnesota, plus 2.5 in the game against the Packers. And I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals against the seemingly rejuvenated Carolina Panthers, being led by the former Cincinnati quarterback, Andy Dalton. I'm doing Cincinnati and laying the 4 points. Those are our picks for the week. Again, we are using midweek lines, so please check the lines when you go to make a bet. If you're listening to us.
And thank you, Caesars Sportsbook. Give us that website one more time, Doug.
You just like putting me through that.
I love you when you say that website.
Caesars.com/sportsbook-and-casino.
There you go.
Always bet responsibly, bet with your head, not with your heart. And as always, these picks will be in writing on our blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. You'll see the picks there. And feel free to comment there. Feel free to email us, info@turnpikesportsradio.com with your own picks or comments on the show. And follow us on social media, at Turnpike Sports on X, Twitter, whatever you call that stupid thing. Also at Turnpike Bets, also on the same platform. We've got at Turnpike Sports on Facebook and at Turnpike Sports Radio on Instagram.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike. Good luck, everyone.